My name is Sebastián Rodríguez. I am from Bogota, Colombia. I did both my bachelor's and my master's in the Pontificia Universidad Javeriana. There I did my bachelor and master's in electronics, focused principally in RF applications and microstrips, circuit design, antenna design. I worked along with the research team that they had for telecommunications called Syscom. Once I finished my bachelor, I started taking care of some courses and teaching in the university. After that, I worked in a company called Rode and Schwarz, and I worked there for 2.5 years before I actually found my position here and came here to do my PhD. The program that is sponsoring me is called 5Win5G. It's a Marie Curie program composed by 10 different institutions of Europe and 15 PhD students. The goal of this project is to train the new researchers that are going to take the topic of 5G networks, the 5th generation networks. And in a specific, the project that I'm working on is based on the dynamic switching and dynamic allocation of the W-band signals. Why DTU and why Denmark? For me, to be honest, I think that it was a matter of fate. When I was looking for my program for my PhD, I was searching in a lot of places, mostly a little bit in Germany, but one day I received an information that Professor Ildefonso, leader of the group, was going to do a presentation of the things that he did here in Metro Access in my university. So I went to that meeting, got really interested in. He put me in contact with Professor Vegas Olmos, with J. I started talking to him. We did a little bit of interviews and everything. And months later, well, here I am. My project is based on the dynamic allocation and dynamic switching of signals for the W-band. So I'm working basically on the radio access network and a little bit on the back haul, on the front haul of the wireless and mobile networks. Right now, what I have been doing is making transmissions on the Ka and W bands, meaning frequencies from 26 to 110 gigahertz, and putting switching systems in those frequencies specifically right now on the access network. The resources that we have at our disposal here at the university are very wide, because at least I'm working in dynamic switching, so I have a lot of switches. There are people working on advanced modulation schemes, radars, wireless transmission up to a lot of frequencies. I'm not going to reveal how much. And we all can have the instruments to be able to actually make those tests and actually make a little bit of the state of the art and try to beat that state of the art. So it's pretty good here at the lab. There's an interesting thing about the adaptation here, because for me, well, me being from Colombia, being a tropical country and everything, everyone will expect to me to say something like the weather, the seasons, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. But I think that those things are actually things that you can actually get used to. So it's just a matter of getting to the place that you are, try to actually leave the place and try to manage. I really think that all these problems can actually be solved with just getting used to. So at least for me, yes, the first months were mainly more difficult in terms of the food that I can acquire, change a little bit the diet, and getting into the Danish society. But once you actually get used to it, you can actually feel that either way, the Danish society has a certain logic. Maybe it's not the same logic that you have, but it's a logic either way. So you can actually just get used to it, and you will start to feel really good and actually be part of that society. That I think that is pretty cool. For the long and short term, I think that is an interesting question, because in general, I want to learn, I want to grow. I really think that people never stop growing up and they never stop learning. The moment that you get stuck in one topic is when you actually can be certain that you're dead. So in the short term, easy question. I just want to finish my PhD, get to learn a lot of different things, new topics, be relevant in the telecommunication world. In the long and mid-term, I think that I would like to learn a little bit more about the academic world, a little bit more about the company work. I want to be able to be a good researcher. I want to learn how to be a researcher. I want to learn how are the fundamentals of a company. I want to learn and I want to have my own company. So when it's time to actually return to Colombia, I can actually take something back from Colombia. And most importantly, I think that I need to grow personally my personal side. I really think that, or what I really want is to travel. I want to see the world. I want to see the different kind of perspectives that everything has. I want to see the telecommunications from different points of view. I want to see my life from different points of view and actually have amazing stories about how I got to a certain point, not only personally but professionally. And have an amazing story about someone that I met that actually took me in some way into the road that I wanted to go. The life of the university is for me maybe the most important part of my life right now, because it's where I spend most of my time. And yeah, we are a big group, so I have a lot of workmates, although I don't like that much that word. I prefer with these people to call them either friends or even family, because it's not only that I found people that I can actually work with and develop new ideas and my experiments. I found people here that once you get to know them, you know that they are there for you, and they know that whenever they need something, I can be there for them. So it's a good environment. I really like it. And not only between us PhDs or masters that are in the same kind of level, for a way of saying it, but also in terms of our supervisors. I think that this environment that we have, that is really, really a good environment to work with, it wouldn't be possible without the intervention or a little bit, or the way that our supervisors are. And yeah, maybe we fool around a lot, and I mean a lot. But one thing that you can actually always say is that whenever there is something important in the telecommunications, Metro Access is there, pushing the boundaries of the systems. If I have to say how it has been living in Copenhagen, I think that people that know me here know that I use a certain word a lot. And I want to use that word to actually define how it's living in Copenhagen. And for me, living in Copenhagen is really awesome. It's a city that you can fall in love with. It's really small. It's not that big as a city, at least not as, for example, Bogota. But it's small but cozy, so you will always feel secure. One of my favorite things to do here is actually just plug my headphones, put some music, and get lost. If I'm satisfied, I think that yes, I can say that I'm satisfied. I still think that I need to do a lot of things more. I mean, for me, it has been an amazing opportunity because I have not been, I'm just not being able to live in Europe, that I always wanted to visit Europe, but I have been able to travel around. So I have been in a lot of conferences and I have pushed in my own limits. So I have been learning a lot. I have been in Cyprus, in Spain, in China, in Korea, doing experiments, doing publications, and that has been really, really good. So yeah, I can really say that I'm satisfied. And if I recommend someone to come here, I will say yes. It depends on a lot, but mostly it depends on the person that wants to go. A lot of people in Colombia I know that usually search, and the most popular places that they are searching is always either Germany, Italy, maybe Spain a little bit, and they don't put attention to places like this one. And for me, right now, I can say that they are missing a lot, because Copenhagen and DTU, and especially Metro Access, is a great place to do the PhD.